In
Um, I've been so behind on what the governor is doing. I just know that evictions got pushed back to July, so nobody can get evicted for not paying of rent. And then
I wonder if
um
that's been causing problems out there. Because
oh, it has. It definitely
yeah,
has. Yeah. So on the seller side, I mean, there's ways that they can break or get people tenants out, but it just can't be for non-payment.
yeah,
Yeah.
got it.
And then for selling the property, the DCCA told us that we need to have the new buyer evict the tenant and not the seller. So I was like, oh, okay, that's interesting.
New buyer. Whoa.
So the
Yeah.
seller can give them notice that they're selling, but the new buyer has to, once they actually close on the property, they do the eviction process. So it's not
Gotcha.
very. And then, oh, another thing that has been happening with Maui is a lot of the condos have been re-evaluating their insurance policies. So a lot of them, or not a lot, I'm over exaggerating. I know of three that have already announced that they're increasing their HOA or maintenance fees because of the new policies that they're getting. So you're going from like 400, $500 to like eight to 1,000.
Whoa.
So it's definitely changing the condo market for sure.
Oh, yeah. Wow. That's double,
Yeah,
right?
because I mean, from all the people, all the complexes in Lahaina, they were severely underinsured.
Oh,
So the rest of Maui is just like, all right, let's review. Let's make sure we have enough. So
I see.
all
Wow.
of them, yeah.
When I was talking to Jonathan about some of the policies and stuff, just nationwide, it seems that the insurance companies are reevaluating because of so many natural disasters occurring across the nation, right? Like Texas was just hail and tornadoes and flooding and all this stuff because of global warming or not, depends what you believe. But there's the influx of natural disasters that are basically almost going to put insurance companies out of business unless they
Yeah.
change
Hmm.
their rates.
He did say too that there was a lot of big carriers on their way out of Hawaii. Like they're just not gonna be here anymore. Oh
Mhm.
man, that's a problem, yeah. If people, so people don't have to pay their rent and they won't, you can't evict them because of that. And then you got this increase in HOA, like, whole, there must be some, whoever has an HOA, right, and has a tenant who's not paying, like, that's double owie.
Yeah, yeah. And then yeah, a lot of it is there's no rent control, right? So when FEMA and all the assistance was coming out offering short-term rental prices for long-term rentals in
Mm,
areas like the whole market just went crazy with rents. So
yeah.
I it's so much cheaper to move to Oahu at this point.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, so how many, there must be some distress then because of this. I mean, there's gotta be.
Yeah, yeah. The Maui Mommies Facebook group goes off every day.
Maui what? Maui mommies?
Maui Mommies.
That's adorable. That's hilarious. It's adorable, but I bet it gets ruthless in there.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
Oh man, okay. Shoot. Well, I wonder how many Lahaina residents were displaced. Do they know already how many people? Because we see
Yeah.
that we see
They didn't,
people in Vegas
yeah. They've
everywhere.
been announcing it, but I haven't remembered the numbers accurately.
Yeah. No, no. Oh, so well, oh, Layla's gonna cringe when I say this, but like I mean, if you guys see any good deals, even in Maui, I think perhaps, maybe we'll look at, if you need a partner or something. I just don't quite know that market, so, but I know you guys do, so yeah. Bye, Layla.
Bye, Layla. Have fun
Later,
accounting.
going over the numbers. Uh-oh. Uh-oh, guys. Fun. What's up, Ben?
How's it going?
Good, good. We just had that lady Liz Lee who was on the last call. We scheduled a meeting, so it's so cool. I get to meet her in person. I'm gonna meet you, Ben, in person one day.
Make it
You too,
happen.
Hannah. Ben's been on these calls for since the beginning, yeah.
Pretty close. Pretty
And
close.
then you
Matt
had your
invited me
debut
like
though.
way back in the day. I think maybe like a month or two after you guys started.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, here comes Neil. Um, I got to meet Neil too, I think, at the event. Yeah, I did meet Neil. So, and now we got John on the line. John Kim, he's on our team now. I think I met him at Sheena and Chris's meetup, and then our coffee talks. And now John's running the Vegas office with Kane. So, but anybody got anything? Leads, needs, good deeds? Happy Aloha Friday, by the way. Got a small room here. Kevin, if you could talk, because I know you got a lot of experience. Kevin's been, I remember the first deal what was that? No, it was a long time ago. I don't think that was my first one. But it was a deal in where was that? Kevin, do you remember? Kalihi? I think it was in
Oh,
Kalihi.
shoot, I don't remember. Kind of long ago, but
Yep, that was long ago. It was probably 2016, maybe 2015. Wow. That's almost 10 years ago.
yeah, that's about when I started.
Oh, really? Yeah. You went
Yeah.
through what, Fortune Builders?
No, I didn't do anything. I just kind of learned on my own and tried to do everything on my own, I guess.
And I don't hear much about Fortune Builders anymore. Do you guys? Anna, do you know what Fortune Builders is? Or no?
I know what they are, yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah. You just look like like you didn't know. What's up, Neil?
Hey everyone.
What's up? What's up? Kev, you're still going down to the auctions, right? Is it same old, or is there low inventory, more action?
Yeah, kind of the same. Low inventory, and I guess people are kind of hesitant, I guess, about getting stuff because I guess on the sales side it's harder now. So yeah, I guess it's kind of not too much action, kind of boring.
Yeah. Are people taking down any deals there, or are people bidding on anything? Or
Yeah, I guess people are still buying. There's like different people because it's hard to get stuff on the MLS and other ways. So I think there's more people like trying, and there's some decent deals, I guess. Um, but yeah, maybe not as good as before.
what are you looking for? Like single family, like a flip, or looking for
I
something you
I was
can
I was kind of looking for rentals, like multi-unit, like a house with multi-units, like 4 units, and then like flips that kind of have a good margin. So I guess I'm just trying to be a little conservative now. Kind of
yeah.
just
Are you just closing all cash?
yeah, pretty much. I had about 7 last year, and then I kind of panicked, so I sold them all because of the interest rate.
Yeah.
So I just have cash, and I put it in banks right now. Just kind of waiting.
Yeah. What type of return would you have, do you have to see in order to put that out there? Do you go off
Um,
that, or you just go off of like the project and like how much headache it's gonna be?
yeah, I guess I try to get 10 to 20%
Okay.
profit, but then I usually just use cash, so I don't have to pay the right now I don't have to pay the financing.
Mhm. So you're buying maybe roughly around 65% of the ARV-ish, maybe. So if your ARV is about $1 million, you're buying roughly around 650.
Yeah, I think I'm trying to do that, but that's why I can't really find anything now.
Yeah, it's hard. Yeah, I know. Yeah.
I guess that's my problem. Like I'm willing to do stuff, but
Yeah.
I guess I just don't want to take a chance.
Do you know Travis Wailehua? Have you ever
No.
like he's been wholesaling here on Oahu, and like he's the only one I've seen actually run a wholesale operation like how it should be, which is like at volume, right? And
No.
so he comes across some pretty good ones too. He does know his worth though.
Oh yeah.
So his fee, is pretty up there. I'm like, oh bro, I give him applause,
Yeah, I think over the years I met a lot of wholesalers, but
Yeah,
yeah, not a whole lot can make it, I guess, in Hawaii.
yeah,
I
it
think it's
takes.
pretty hard.
I agree. Yeah. Because when I was wholesaling, it was a grind, man. I was spending money. I was on the phone all the time, right? You really earn your keep, uh, wholesaling. So, but if you get really good at it, it's like finding deals and funding deals is the genesis of wealth creation, right? So, and if you can master finding deals, then yeah, at least one of the two, then you're gonna be in the game for sure. Because that's a lot of value, right? Either
Yeah.
the deal or the money. So, oh, Kev, well, let us know if you find something and you need a partner, bro. I've been wanting to work with you a long time.
Yeah. But I would work with you too if you want. I've done like
Uh,
a lot of stuff with other people and it just go half.
yeah, me too. Why not? Yeah. So, well, yeah, if any of you guys actually find anything too, Neil, what you got going on? Anything you need help with?
Right now, we're just kind of building our brand still. Closed out some Dallas and trying to get some of our processes as far as the management for it. Because last few, all pretty much last the properties we've kind of acquired were holes. Now we transition into more of focusing on flips. So changing our business brand from that perspective. So like you mentioned, I was planning on going to some of the auctions coming up. Actually, I got it on my calendar to go. So it's kind of sad to hear that it's a little slow. I was hoping to pull a couple of them that I saw in the paper to be hopefully be fruitful. So we just now just looking for the, like you said, the 60%, hopefully that we can snatch up. And there's some still out there, and I think probably the most I've been able to get or see is the word of mouth from some of the realtors. That's pretty much the best I've seen so far at the Realtor Connections. And like you mentioned, I think it was Travis that I spoke to. I think it was the next that added me to the mailing list. So they've sending us some pretty interesting wholesale deals lately. But I just haven't seen one I just want to pull the trigger on just yet, though. On some of those, yeah, it's just
No, it's good to be careful too, because we don't know where the market's gonna go. Rates went up, right? So again, so it's like they're talking about dropping rates quite a bit this year, but not one yet. So
yeah.
they must be seeing something, like, and honestly, like we see, since we're so like involved in, like, we travel a lot and we go to different markets and stuff, like start to realize that, yeah, I feel like inflation is still here, tickets are higher than ever, like it's been, yeah, still like low supply, like 7-Eleven downstairs from our office was low. I don't know if you guys noticed anything, but like and Safeway. But I don't know what's going on.
No, I agree too. Like some of the other markets that we're in, and I look at the value, and they're pretty cost of living, like Arkansas that we work in Dallas. Usually we're pretty reasonable on some of the price points. Like you said, the price points are still, are high. And we still having to adjust and look at those budgets, with a sharp eye just to make sure we're on track. So definitely, stay the same.
They're keeping eye on the regional banks again because they're feeling the stress, I think. So they're a little worried about that. And like the commercial side, they're still watching that very close because like it's not looking good, especially for office retail. What I learned recently too, like with me and Alex, is that even the hospitality space is hitting a cycle because hospitality is hotel, right? So like all the flagged hotels, so like a flag would be like Marriott or Hilton, right? The owner, it might be owned by a private owner, but they decide to put the flag as Marriott or something, right? But if they do so, they follow Marriott's, guidelines and stuff. So every so many years, they have to renovate the property to keep their flag, right? And a lot of it is coming up due like within the next year. So a lot of these owners need a cash injection, and they don't have it, or they're looking to raise it right now. So we're in a partnership, fortunately, that's kind of seeking these opportunities, and it seems like they're everywhere here too, and actually Hawaii and Vegas, they said had the highest what was it, RevPAR, it was called revenue per average something, RevPAR, I forget what that stands for.
Is it room?
Room,
Per
that's
average room?
yeah, I'm still learning it. So it's different, right? Like they don't call it doors, they call it keys. Like how many keys is it, right? It's like it's 150 key hotel. So even the language is different, yeah. But yeah, RevPAR. That's how they, and then when um you underwrite that type of asset, like, oh man, it's a beast. It's like it's a business that you're looking at, right, and analyzing. So, and I don't know how, yeah, but I did go one round with my aunt. My aunt used to be the GM for Turtle Bay Resort before they sold it to Blackstone. She was the GM for years. And so like she took me through a couple like hotels and what they have to check. They have to check everything down to like like AC HVAC is always important. She said that's a big expensive item, because you want to know, because if when you buy an asset like that, economies of scale can work like for you or against you, right? It's like, okay, when you have to fix the AC for every unit, but you got 300, units, that could be a big cost, right? So something that seems so small but it can add up because economies of scale. So I learned so much walking through like just one property with her out in that was in not Palm Springs, but it's Indio, California. So where they have Coachella, like literally right across from where they have Coachella is like a country club we were looking at buying like years ago. And now looking back, it's like, wow, that price was so good. It was 7 million they're asking. But the problem with that one was that I don't know if you guys know that area, like Palm Springs and Indio, and Coachella, but it's in the desert, right? It's like kind of way out there. So it's very seasonal and it's very opposite. So like their summers is like the winters for the snowbirds, so like during the summer, everybody leaves town because it's too hot. And then during like the more winter seasons, everybody comes down to golf and all that. So it's a transient market. So we ended up not going forward with it because we don't know anything about like hotels and stuff. We had no business. What I found out is like I have no business being in this right now. That's what I found out. But looking back is like, wow, maybe it would have been a great buy because at 7 million, but hindsight's always 50-50, right? 2020, what is it? 2020. But man, that one it relied heavily on the festivals. So I wasn't comfortable with that, right? Like the rooms, the average daily rate of the room was like anywhere from $50 during the summer to like $450 a night during peaks, like when the festivals are in town and stuff. So it's hard to keep an operation running when it's so seasonal because your workers, right? Like you gotta be higher on, higher off, higher on, like they're seasonal. Um, so that was another problem. There's just so much that it came to a point where it's like, yeah, I have no business being here. uh, but now, pretty soon maybe we're gonna be in these type of deals, which is gonna be awesome, and we will be ready this time. So,
I
anybody
see
got
that
anything else?
happening with the hotels here is they're no longer having housekeepers like on staff, but they'll hire out the housekeeping to
Yeah.
another company. So that way they don't have to worry about the slow season.
Hmm. And they don't do room service much anymore in some hotels. Have you noticed that?
Yeah,
Yeah.
unfortunately.
Yeah, I know. That was my go-to.
Yeah, I think that probably was behind the whole union battle earlier. So one of the units I was working on, I think it was the Ilokai. I was acquiring a unit there, and I come to find out that they inside of the deed there was a requirement since the place had been built that mandated that the cleaning team do X number of time, and you would get charged a daily. I think the daily cleaning fee was mandatory, regardless if I had someone to go in and clean or not. It was like mandatory. I think it was $100 some or whatever a day, or it was ridiculous amount of money a day. I could say, and because they were in that, I guess the boycott at the moment, I wouldn't have been required. They wasn't having a daily cleaning at that moment. Or a requirement of a fee at that moment. But I think after that whole union battle that they had, that just switched over, supposedly, and I'm thinking that that's going to start seeing where you would see daily cleaning on some of the hotels. Will start back. That was the whole battle concept, was because they delayed and they would push the cleaning team and not have them cleaning, they weren't paying them, like you mentioned earlier. But now the union would have fought for them, was like, hey, no, we need to get our cleaners in. That's affecting, their livelihood. Which did affect, the owners of the properties and how we manage our daily rates that we were doing for rentals and whatnot. But actually, we didn't, because of that, we ended up passing on the deal. We didn't purchase through them after all. But that was a good learning for me on how the unit is set up, how the cleaning teams are structured, and how embedded they already are within just that Ilokai has been there for years. I mean, since the beginning. So it's one of the, it's one of the first. And so if this is embedded already in that deed, what other deeds and things of that nature that it's already probably embedded in for the other locations.
Wow. Yeah. So that's gonna come into effect where so what is it? They require a daily cleaning?
Yeah.
The
So you have
hotel.
to pay a daily regardless if your guests requested a cleaning or not.
Wow. That's a lot. 100 a day. That's 3,000 a month.
Yeah, it was pretty hefty bill. It may be a little bit lower, but it was a pretty hefty bill like that. That killed the whole deal of us trying to do
Yeah.
a reasonable rate for someone to rent it out.
Wow.
Yeah, and I think it was I can say profitable. Yeah, it was profitable because the current owner they was out of Japan, so I was going to get it out for them. They was done. They wanted their money back out of the deal that they had, and they currently had the management company there working it, and they had a fee as well. So you had the management fee that was mandatory, and then you had the daily cleaning rate that was mandatory. I probably would have been acceptable of the management fee because they would maintain a desk there, and the guests could check in, get their keys, get the towels and things like that with them. So that may have been feasible with the deal. But when they added the daily cleaning fee in there, that kind of just scratched the entire deal. It wasn't at that much more profitable at that point. So
Yeah.
it's kind of pulled out, but and I think that's probably another reason why she was getting ready to pull out as well, because it's gonna be cutting her profit as well.
Yep. So do you guys know if the numbers on like vacation rentals and condo hotels work out here?
Fine, but I used to think it wouldn't, and I took a gamble, and it has been fruitful. Packed about 93% of the time. We pretty much tripled our income that we expected from it.
Dang, okay, that's very good to hear then. So do you leave it in the hotel pool or you self-manage?
I self-managed, so and that was the key. So with like somewhere like Ilokai, they required you to stay in their pool. We found other locations that fell in the window that did not require you to stay in their pool or require management at all. But you still get all the lovely amenities that come with like the Wyndham name and the location, the walk-in, the wow factor. That was one of the other keys to it as well. But I can say definitely we do a self-manage. It's been great. Kind of have our own cleaner go in and do it. She's been awesome for the ones that she maintains. No problem thus far. And even the window guy, they take care of everything that we need, maintenance, security on site. So
What do you use to like pull accurate comparables to like for monthly gross revenue generated? Is it AirDNA?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Well, I started that way on AirDNA, and then I just started doing my own, doing the research, pulling the different Airbnb locations, because some of the data may not be all there. So I just started looking at the Airbnb, Booking.com, and VRBO. Because a lot of people and some of the AirDNA doesn't have all three of the data points.
Okay.
But they're heavy, players in the game. So that gave us more accurate numbers.
Yeah, because we're looking at perhaps, something that we could maybe buy in Vegas too, that's condo-tel. And if we can cash flow, great, but break even, great, because we spent a lot of money just like going back and forth, so if we can I'd rather buy a place instead of just keep hotel and Airbnb but we're not there a lot of the times out of the month, right? So like if we can keep it running where it's kind of paying for itself, then that would be ideal. But I'm trying to get back into running numbers on that end. And last time I was in that space, it was AirDNA was like the only option. And is that still the go-to right now?
Yeah, that's still a go-to, but like I mentioned, it doesn't reflect like the Booking.com numbers or all of the VRBO numbers.
Yeah.
It's heavy for Airbnb though. But it's our quick, if we need a quick read, a quick number, we use them. And then later we'll go back and do the analysis from the other platforms.
Got it.
Yeah.
Got it. Oh man, that was helpful news, Neil. Because I'm actually trying to run numbers on this right now. So
yeah, it helped out a lot. But I can tell you that your numbers can be even though like I just mentioned, we thought our numbers were going to be X, and it was like 3 times that once we actually. But then that also goes back to reading the environment. So if you're just like you're doing with doing the deals on the houses, if your neighborhood is that value and it brings that wildfire to the neighborhood, and then you just took the ugly duckling in the neighborhood and made it something beautiful, that value just gonna just be compound at that point. And then as long as you put some great design skills into it, it's gonna bring that value, that return that you're looking for at the end of the day.
You know what it usually catches my eye is like there's got to be like 1 or 2 things that are kind of like the centerpiece of the property, right? Like kind of a wow factor, especially if you're paying a premium price. But is that how you look at a property too? It has to have something unique to it, or it just matters on the building, on the property? Because I had normal properties and it was really hard after a while to compete. You know, like if you just have like a standard room and everybody else is, putting up listings that are just like they have like jacuzzi tubs and such. It's like it's hard to compete with those.
Yeah, we just try to look at, one is the room cleanliness. That's our biggest factor that we kind of do, but the look also, I had a family walk through one of my midterms. And the daughter was with the mom and she was like, this is like Pinterest or something. This is amazing, you know? So that wow factor there, I was like, I was proud of
Yeah.
that. Oh yeah, thank you. So that, that look, that's what we strive for.
Yep.
And then the cleanliness, they kept talking about how clean it was. So those are the key things. Some of the challenges, like the midterm, we have in Kaneohe. You got the mountain views and things of that nature, so, but you're not close to the beach, so you got to bring that, what is that keeping that location can give that person? So for us, that location is going to bring serenity, it's that quietness, the calmness, but then you're also going to have that clean, which you don't get in Kaneohe. A lot of homes are older models.
Mhm.
So you can bring that cleanliness, that newness, the modern look to it, that's going to stand out amongst the rest. For like our Waikiki location, we brought in a designer, had her kind of do her thing on it, a special touch. She didn't do nothing great, but the things that she done was amazing, right? The colors that she put together to make it pop out, that was the key. Like I said, it's not far from the beach, but it's not on the beach like Ilokai or Hilton.
Right.
But it's newer, and the rehab is just, what's gonna stand out to the majority of our customers that we get. And then also the parking. We
And
add
you guys,
in our solutions.
do you guys arbitrage or do you buy?
Oh,
Or you buy? Yep.
yeah, I haven't done arbitrage yet.
I used to arbitrage. I used to lease and then sublease. So, but and it was actually good that I did because like and ended up having to ditch the units because we had one in the Kahala condos right off the freeway, like the penthouse at the top, and it was making so much money. It was good, but like I didn't really see any of it because we had other ones that kind of were sucking, So we had like 3 in Waikiki. And then back then they didn't the space was still so new that it was still like all the third-party servicers like still haven't started yet. So you didn't have like the cleaning operations. The Airbnb economy was still so small. But now it seems pretty robust where like you can automate this thing. And back then it was it was me having to do everything at the same time. And yeah, I remember going live on that penthouse. That was the first one we had. I pushed like go live and it was like 10 o'clock at night. So, but then I just started getting all these inquiries like immediately. I was like, is this even real? Like, are these real messages like that fast? And it was. And I was like, oh no, what did I do? Like, oh no. But then I realized like it takes a while. It'll slow down, right? After your bookings start to book up and stuff. So I almost panicked though, because like almost immediately I pushed the button and it's like 10 minutes later or something, it's just getting all types of inquiries. And I thought I just hired myself a really shitty job. But I looking back, I'm glad I arbitraged because like, yeah, it didn't work out. We couldn't do it after a while. They came down heavy with regulations, and then if we bought it, we would have been kind of stuck.
That's the one thing I try to tell everyone is get involved. Like, like our Texas location, we're involved with the lawsuit now because the city, they was trying to make some changes. With here in Honolulu, the bills that they try to pass, well, they just passed one about trying to do the local, we get involved with that piece as well. If enough people get involved, you can still fight back, but the city, they're relentless. They are like here in Hawaii, we beat the bill. They came back like months later, they split the bill in half and came at you with different direction with different, they split it up. So it's coming at you different names. And and different verbiage and, luckily we had Airbnb and VRBO come to bat with their legal team. And they
Yeah.
showed up because, like we was talking about earlier with the hotel chains here, the hotel chains have full force. They're sitting in that room and they're giving write-ups that need to be changed in the law that meets their requirement. I was like, wow, you're sitting there literally just giving them, and our government reps are like, yeah, let's do this. And they're making straight from whatever the hotel chain says. And then, but luckily, we had the Airbnb and the VRBO guys, the lead guys that came in and said, no, this is illegal here, this line here, and that line there,
Oh, good.
and
Yeah.
broke it down for them. And they actually listened to them, so they went back and changed a lot of the stuff that they were going to implement. But I just think, like, if you didn't have that, if there's no one there, that hotel chain is gonna run things over.
Yeah.
You can't stop them. They're beasts.
Yeah. Those guys are, yeah, they got a lot of influence, right? And especially in Hawaii, because like we rely on them so much. Like, I mean, it's our number one, source of revenue is tourism, right? So like, yeah, but I'm glad they stepped up, like VRBO and Airbnb. I mean, they should be vested in this, right? Because it affects them heavily out here. Like Hawaii must be a great market for Airbnb, even though like it's heavily regulated. I'm sure that the units that are legal and the guys who are, in Waikiki and probably maybe doing a little bit, maybe cash flowing a little bit, I bet that's still a lot of business for Airbnb and VRBO. There's so much to go around, like these hotels get booked all the time. Like it's like, come on, guys, let us play.
There is a bill that just got introduced for Maui that is looking to phase out 7,000 units by January 1st of 2026.
What does that mean, phase out?
So like, or convert them, any short-term rentals that are in apartment districts. So they're looking to get those out of short-term rentals into long-term rentals.
And they've identified 7,000 of them.
7,000, yeah.
Ooh.
And these were like grandfathered in to short-term rentals. So it's like, even though you have that permit or that grandfathering, things change, climate changes, and things get introduced. So like, it's not really, it's like always having to do your due diligence too on the legislation side, like what is happening. So I mean, I think Airbnb and VRBO are going to definitely try to negotiate that or try to get it removed, but it's a lot of units.
Yeah.
I think the challenge is that they're trying to use that as a way, but my thing is if you could just explain how that process would work, explain how you would decommission these and how these would become available to those that are in need.
Yeah.
Are you assuming that and then someone tried to mention it to them, are you assuming that once they decommission these as Airbnbs, that owner is going to put this at a price point that's going to be reasonable for that current family that's in distress to rent? And because you can't make that owner give a certain price point.
Right. That's what I was thinking. I was like, maybe rent control first would have been something to implement first, and then because we can't speculate or know how these owners are going to react or how the rental market's going to react to it. So it's hard. Yeah.
Is that already in play, you said?
It was just introduced. Yeah, it was introduced a week ago.
I don't know what that's gonna do. I mean, the logic tells you that people are gonna be hurting. You would, well, yeah. What else is going on in Maui? Man.
We just got a homeowner assistance fund up to $60,000 for, this was like a COVID thing, but Maui just announced that the program opened. So if you guys know anyone suffering from COVID foreclosures or financial loss.
Yeah. Interesting. So they're okay. I mean, yeah, that's kind of been done already, yeah. COVID.
Yeah, I had
Oh, they're
3
talking
homeowners
foreclosure.
that I was helping that they ended up going to bankruptcy, but now they have the opportunity to apply for the funds and hopefully pay off the bankruptcy. Hopefully bankruptcy doesn't disqualify them, but
Yeah.
now it's time to catch up from
Yeah.
COVID.
Wow. Yeah, well, does anybody else have anything? We have Jody or Sam. Sam, I don't know if you can talk or you're just listening in. And we're gonna be in Vegas. Kiko's been working a lot with New Wealth, Molina and New Wealth, with a new location out in the Seattle area. I don't even know where it is yet. I haven't been back since COVID, so I gotta go we gotta go back maybe on the next round. I gotta go give Ben a big hug. I told him to
Yeah.
give a big hug.
They're over in Bellevue, I think, aren't they?
There,
Like,
oh, is that where they are? At the mall?
yeah, I think so. Like just south of Bellevue.
Yep. Yep. I think that's what Kiko was saying. It's been so long. I was starting to get my bearings in the market too, from even the outskirt areas like Tacoma and Renton and Federal Way. Our first deal in Seattle was Federal Way. And but then now, yeah, I totally forget it. It's been 4 years already. Um, is anybody going to be at what conferences are going on right now for borrowers? Does anybody know? Because I think our guys need to start going to borrower conferences too instead of just lending conferences. But I don't know if anyone here goes to conferences anymore. Not really, I don't think.
Say that name again.
Um,
Barber?
what was that?
What type of conference you mentioned that was again? Barber?
Oh,
Or
yeah, more like for investors. Like we call it borrower conferences.
borrower? Oh, okay.
Yeah. Um, most of the conferences we go to, it's like all other lenders. Yeah, it's like um, Fortune Builders isn't really out there no more. Yeah, they used to be out a lot. Now I see it more as meetups, like kind of smaller meetup. Ryan Pineda group and I wonder what Brandon's doing. Do you guys see Brandon out there? How's he doing? Anna? No?
I have no idea.
You know? Okay. I do need one.
He's on Maui too, yeah, but
Yeah.
I haven't been on social media for a minute too, so
Mm.
just posting and then I get right off.
Yeah. There was a lot of people who moved to Maui because of Brandon. I saw like Ian Taro was out there for a little while and then I think he moved too, but um yeah, I miss those guys. Haven't seen them in a while. All right, guys. Well, we still got time. And nobody got nothing. We gotta get busy, man. Maybe I'll bring a deal to analyze next time, and then we can.
Everybody needs deals.
Everybody
All
needs
looking for
deals,
deals.
yeah. What's working nowadays? I used to do direct mail heavily. I had an idea with I shouldn't say we did. It was with driving for dollars because I think that that's the best way to get like good solid leads without having to fork up so much money, right? Like, but I was thinking like the young thing about driving for dollars is that it takes a long time, right? So how do you scale that? You'd have to bring people on board, right? But like, what do you pay them just to drive around and take down addresses of you know, houses that look like they need to be renovated or live vacant and stuff. So I was thinking like, I would pay $1 for an address at least of a driving for dollar list. So maybe recruiting like a bunch of people who are willing to take down addresses in certain like neighborhoods and then send them in and pay $1 whether we close or not. Because before, like bird dogs would get paid if they close only, right? And usually somebody new coming in they'll stick around for like a few months and then they realize, oh crap, this is hard. And then they still gotta close it. I don't get paid till they close. Yeah, it's a decent check, but the amount of hours they put in by then is kind of demoralizing, right? So, but if they can get a small, like quick win, and if I would pay $1 because I know that it's a high quality list, right? Because we either deal with distressed homeowners or distressed houses or property, and at least you're looking at one of the two, right? Because like the house is in distress, so you're at least looking at one of the two. So it should have a higher, conversion rate if you can get in touch with the people. That's the hard part too about driving for $1 list. Is sometimes they're vacant, nobody can find out who's, how to get in touch with the person on title. So, but I think that would be that was an idea that I think we would march forward with if we were focusing heavily on just acquisitions. I think we'd put some kind of system in place with people who are willing to, bird dog for us. Do they still use that term? Bird dog or no? No?
No idea. We used to have a male, and I forget if it was FedEx or UPS driver.
Yep.
And then when I first started foreclosure assistance, I got a couple of my friends from the police department
Yeah.
to send me addresses of like the problem homes or like the squatter houses.
Nope.
But it is like a network relationship with like those people that are on the road already.
Yep.
And then yeah, but I stopped a while ago with acquisitions, so I haven't followed up with them. But
Those are
the
great.
police officers came through, so
Police officers are great lead sources, and they have to be careful too, right? And like even the postman and stuff. But honestly, like you're doing you're doing them a favor, cleaning up the neighborhood, helping homeowners.
the illegal squatters, yeah.
Yes, squatters. And even this, like we just went into contract in that condo in Waikiki, and like knowing the management is important too, right? So we went up to talk to the security guard, and the lady was saying, oh, you're buying a unit in here? Oh, thank you. And she's like thanking us, so that was a good sign. Then I said, yeah, like if you have any more, we'll buy those too. So, and typically like they're not supposed to disclose that information, right? They can tell you maybe which ones are vacant perhaps, and then but you have to go look up the information to get in touch with the owner. But if you help them, they'll help you. They'll like they don't want these units making the building kind of look bad or smell bad.
Right.
Does anybody know anything about the Keoneana building in Waikiki? Because that's where the one we just got under contract is in. Apparently, well, the HOA fees pretty big for it's like $1,700, and there's like no real amenities. So it's like right at the beginning of Waikiki on the Kuhio side. So 430 Keoneana Street is the address, but it's it's called the Keoneana. The building's called the Keoneana. Yeah. So I was even thinking, Neil, too. That's why, like, if we should sell it, or because I think in there, oh, actually, you know what? I don't think we can rent short term in that one. I think midterm, the previous owners have been running in there, but not short term. We'll probably flip it.
Talk with make sure you talk with the HOA guys as well. What I found out was one of the buildings that we got, they do have an exception.
Oh.
So sometimes they may have an exception for that building that they have documented for you. So that may help out, just pinging them just to make sure. And that me talking with the HOA guys and bringing us some malasadas and give them a friend and kind of helped out.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Nice. Okay. So sometimes they might have it, like they can make exceptions for that. Interesting. Okay. Yeah, I'm gonna go make friends then. Layla, we gotta go make friends. Let's bring Alex because he's good at making friends. Alex has friends all over the world. You know, he'll never be in trouble. Well, anything else, guys, for this week? Otherwise, I hope everybody has a great weekend and happy Aloha Friday. And we'll see you guys on the next call next week. Aloha, everybody. Thanks, Anna.
Nice
Thanks,
to see you
everyone.
guys again. All right.
Yeah, thanks, Ben.
See
Take
ya.
care.